Recording in progress. Hey guys, this is your host DeDe of Courageous Talk, and I just want to invite you here to none other than Courageous Talk to hear about the testimonies of so many great men and women of God. And of course, today I told y'all that we're going to have someone to show up here all of a sudden here. And I'm just grateful to just introduce y'all to RareBreed, who is also a part of the Camp8republic group. Of course, you know us to have interviewed others like Ion. We've interviewed Chili Baby. And now today, we want to welcome Ion to the show. I mean, not Ion, excuse me. Rare Breed to the show. Please forgive me. Rare Breed, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, indeed. Well, I just want to say happy holidays to you and your family. And of course, we just appreciate you for even stopping by during these different, holidays in between here and there. So we want to say
Definitely
thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah, just a quick break from the grandkids one time.
I hear
You
you.
know, I had to make sure
Yes.
I was in a quiet place. I got some young twins running around,
Oh, goodness.
cutting up right now.
Oh, goodness. Oh,
Yeah,
goodness. Well, I want to say thank you and thank them for allowing us to just take you for just a few minutes and just
definitely.
share, you and the ministry to, our audience here on Courageous Talk. And I just want to say we have seen such great work, and I want to say I have seen such great work,
Thank
but to introduce yourself, could you just share some things about yourself pertaining to being a Christian rap artist? How did that partake in your life?
Definitely it was something that I didn't plan for. It was something that I didn't have a clue existed. I was released in 2009 from doing over 12 years, 4 months of prison time. And I was invited to an open mic to my brother from my brother Floss, who I grew up with from elementary. And I went there the Saturday that I came home and just saw a place to be, a pivot for me to be home, because I didn't know how to be an adult in LA after all these years, and just needed to find some ground, and really not knowing the direction, and who I can have as um, a foundation, a support group, So I went there, Love and Faith Christian Center, um, Pastor Cruz and First Lady Pastor Colette Cruz. They opened their doors on a Saturday night for the youth to have a place to be. Not only that, Christian artists that were local that was trying to find their gift and talent and how to put it somewhere. She gave us that platform, and I didn't understand why I was sitting there so faithfully every Saturday, going into probably 6 months to a year. I was there just supporting and finding brothers that came from what I came from, but with a different mindset, And a longer story short, God gave me that call, and he put me in the booth with the brothers on something, because I always talked about how I wrote raps in prison, but I never told them I had a desire to. So they say, let me hear something. I didn't have nothing. I didn't want to do it. So my brother put me in the in on a song. It was with the club star, the Club Judah All Stars at the time, and they put me on there, and just the cadence and everything kind of brought a different vibe to the song, and they were feeling it. I got good feedback, and from that, people encouraged me to say, "Hey, I want to hear you." So I wasn't, to be honest, the the religion portion of it was not where I was at when I came home. I was on some spiritual journey. I was in I escaped the belly of the beast. I was in my dark times. I was dealing with God on my own. I didn't have the pastors that everybody get to start off with. So my spirituality was more intact, and I was like, man, I'm not trying to be divided. I don't want to be picking sides with religion because I see God's people in all religion.
Right.
I'm not biased towards none of that. That's somebody else's personal thing that they got to deal with. But I don't bang religion. But through talking to a brother that was trying to get me in the studio, and I was like, man, I'm really not with the Christian stuff, bro. To be honest, and just talking to him, I said, how I'm gonna do this music, how I'm gonna release, because I know I do positive music. I know it's light in the music. And all in all, I had to stand on what I believe in. I believe in the 3-in-1. I believe Christ died for my sins. I believe he rose from the dead. I believe that he delivered me in the mess that I was in. I used him at like a dark time, where I didn't know who I was and what I was gonna do. And to the point where mentally, if I didn't have the word of God, I'd have been out of my mind. So the writing was a tool to release, and not knowing it was the consistency that made the reality that God was lining me up for, to give me that journey to say, hey, I got an assignment for you. So, when he gave me the assignment, me and him had a little laugh, like, man, this is what you was doing this all these years. Cause I would write, like, you would think I was trying to come out and start a label and get a career. And I didn't. It was just something that I had a passion to do with creative writing. And so I I got involved with a group we called ourselves businessmen about our father's business. And it lasted for 2.0 seconds, and it was a lot of adversities within the group challenges. I was the person that dumbed down to be taught. The other one was the one that said he knew a lot and needed to tell everybody, and the other one was having issues with both sides of the fence, and so we had challenges. And so I ended up just saying RareBreed needs to do what RareBreed needs to do. And I came out with a solo album because people were like, man, we like you, we heard you on that song. I'm like, cool, we got some more stuff. They're like, no, we want to hear you. So it was the people saying they wanted to hear me that encouraged me to do my first album, Lay My Burdens Down. And it took a few years, so it dropped in 2014, but it was ready probably like 2011. And
Wow.
but I don't rush like a lot of people rush material out right now. I'm not aligned with the world, so I can't do what the world does. A lot of people in the Christian community love to just keep up with the world. They dropping, I'm dropping. This what they doing. It's certain tools that we can grab and gravitate to, but if it's attached to a certain portion of darkness that can't come out of it, then I don't agree with it. So I'm slow with my music because a lot of people get out there want to freestyle all that. You gotta study your word. You really gotta let God speak to you. And if you ain't blacking out and snapping out of it and seeing what God put on the paper, then you ain't really aligning yourself. Just how we get the Holy Ghost in church. You don't remember. Everybody got to tell you what happened. That's how I do my music. And I don't jump on a lot of stuff because I know a lot of people. So I got involved. I became Music for the Movement. And from Music for the Movement, I got involved with Southern California Ceasefire kind of simultaneously. And I was a gang intervention component where we were murder victims and victims sitting at a table with city officials. It had grew to that by the time I got there. And we were trying to learn how to coexist together and heal together. And I was the music. A lot of people don't understand Christian hip hop is the healing portion for what we doing right now. We had Marvin Gaye and the civil rights. We had James Brown. We had Stevie Wonder. All those people spoke life into their times and their struggles, and we're not doing that. We just want to jump around, bounce around. That's okay, but when do you come back? James Brown acted a fool, did his stuff, but he went to the USO tours. He fed into the troops. He brought unity together. He got a lot of empowerment stuff with the riots and stuff was going on. He was that calm that came to that. What are we doing in this era with the gang violence, with the black and brown issues going on, the racism going on? We not attaching to that because we're quick to say, oh, God don't want us in politics. But how do we coexist in this world? How do we help change the world if we don't tap in and do what we're supposed to do as believers? A lot of believers don't allow their light to be shine in the dark, and that's the pet peeve I got with a lot of people because we know what we know till we don't want to know it, you know.
Wow. You're
So
right about that. You're right
yeah,
about that. And I like what you said about um and I think music in general is it has a spirit behind it. And when you said that it was a tool for healing at that time, and of
yeah,
course, it's consistently a healing if
mhm,
we use it the right way. And like you
yeah,
said, I like that to where it sounds like you're saying that write music and everything that you did, which was study and applied it. That was your weapon,
hmm,
and that's the way I looked at that. So I appreciate that. That was good. I like that. I might have
yeah.
to use that right there. But I give you your props. But um being before that, what was your life, before that? Because I hear you saying that you had just come out. So did you have a Christian background somewhat prior to, all of this coming about?
So I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. My father was a Christian, my mother was a Catholic, and everybody that lived in the apartments complex that was my family were Muslims.
Mhm.
You know, I had auntie who had about 5 or 6 kids with the Nation of Islam. My grandmother was she was with the Nation. I think she later converted back to Baptist. And then my grandfather, he died Muslim. He changed his name. And I had a lot of so I had a well-grounded background where I seen everything, and everything was my family. So all of what that's your auntie, love your auntie. I seen them with the garments on. I didn't learn no bias. The only bias that I had was the the whites in the community that were pretty racist. But moving to California, I I was on the church van buses. The vans and the buses with the homies and the grandpa that's the pastor going to summer school Bible studies. Wednesday Bible studies, and I was attached to Christianity moving to Watts when I was 9 years old, and when I left my dad was with my mom. That was kind of like my grounding. I had to go where my homeboys went with my friends. They going to Bible study, they doing all that. And I had to get in line with it, and that lined me up with the word because I remember my dad always sitting me and my sisters down with a big red Bible and had us passing it around and just reading it, and I didn't have a clue what it was. It wasn't until I was 21 years old in prison. First day I picked up a Bible just to put myself in a different space. And in that week, a brother walked up to me, and I can't tell you his name when he got released, nothing. I just remember he walked past me. He noticed I was reading the word, and he gave me direction in that word. And when the first book he gave me direction was the book of Job, and he
Mhm.
told me how to interpret it. He gave me a couple ideas on, read it like in today's time, like it was happening today. Read the story, picture the characters in the story, things like that that helped me really depict the word of God, and really be able to see it. And Job was me at that time, and I was relating to it, and I was like, there's a guide in here. I need this guide. Joe went through it. I need to know how I'm gonna get through my Joe moment, So I started peeling the layers out that Bible for 12 years, 4 months, consistently, So I thumbed through each page of that word, and I don't knock people out here, but a lot of people want to tell me what their pastor told them, and
Mhm.
I'm in the shoe program. I'm in the hole. All they give me is the Bible and no pastor, So
Right.
I had to pray over that word and open it up and allow him to pour into me. And that was my still moment. That was my consecration, and
Mhm.
it was instilled in me to be who I am today. It's natural now. It's a habit form, to
Right.
just work and do the will, not study the will, not go to people that's trying to line it up and team up and make a church. And I'm like, God bless all that. But
Right.
I got equipped. I got armor, I got tools, and I was through out here. Try it again, because you ain't got no more chances, So I came out here, just running, just wanted to change, wanted to see something different, and I wanted to give the good news back to my community. But I know we can't do it how we do it. You know, it's real cliche. We turn into nerds, we turn into squares to the homies, and they not gonna receive it. So I had to learn how to be me and give it to them in a natural form in different ways. It could be a form of service to the community. It's helping the homie get out of jail and making sure I'm not helping a criminal get out and be a criminal. You get out, you got to transform and fix your life type stuff. So it's different ways that I do it. There's other approaches people got it work for them, but for me, what I do works. It finally started sinking in and starting to stick to my community where they doing things on their own now, um, starting their own uh, organizations, giving out food, things like that. Wasn't heard of. They didn't want to do it before I got there, you know,
Um,
and the homies that had the influence that was given that tool threw it to the side because they didn't want to look like they were soft in the community. And
mm,
so when I came with the boldness to do it and stood on what God had me on, they respected like, hey, he's still a homie, he's still that guy, but he just do it different. He hangs out different, he comes different, he pulls up different. So that's what Jesus taught me in the Bible. He went
amen.
to the block. He didn't get he they didn't put him on the neighborhood. They didn't, they didn't throw him the liquor. He didn't hit the 40 ounce. You know what I mean? He went
Right,
to the block and he showed them who he was, and it was illuminating. And they was like, man, who is this guy? And
right.
that's who we supposed to be. And we don't we don't get that out of what we study,
That's
So
true.
it's a challenge, and we just keep pushing, and to
Right.
meet my brothers, Chili Baby and Solo, rest in peace. They came from that same cloth, and that's how we connected so much. And I just attached to them, they attached to me, and we just came just one. It was my bros, and
Right.
I'm carrying the torch of something that I looked at when I saw them on Bobby Jones,
Mm.
rolling up my weed, calling them all them names, and it was crazy how it just comes
Wow.
back, and full circle. And now it's like, you that guy now. We need you to do what you
Mm.
need to do. So it's
Wow.
a blessing.
Full
Yeah,
circle, man. Wow.
yeah.
I mean, what and you kind of hit up on it, but if you could elaborate more, why participate in helping in the community and so much? I heard you say that, hey, I want to give back, but even the more why, you know.
If I wasn't doing this work, I wouldn't live in LA. I wouldn't be in California. It's overrated. It's not safe. Um, we hate each other too much, and the only reason I'm there is to be the reason why they say they don't know. You can't blame it on I don't know,
Mm,
because I'm there. I'm the big homie. I'm your real big homie. I'm gonna stay up late night and make sure you good. I'm gonna take that call. I'm gonna help you get out of jail, type of stuff. And if I'm not there to teach them, who's there to teach them? So just leading by example and being the change that I want to see. I can't say that I'm changed and I love God and I go take my union check and I go live somewhere real nice where it's cheap and out the way. Like, these problems that I help create is not going to trickle down on me, because it's still going to be my loved ones killed out there. It's still my kids out here in these streets. It's still a lot of things that's on me. It's my responsibility. Just how people feel like, I want to be a pastor and start a church because you want a congregation. Where do you want your congregation to come from? From the streets. You want to heal and help the hopeless, and that's the same process with me. I'm not building no church, but I'm boots on the ground and I'm available. And God gave me an assignment, and
mm,
He gave me a job where I could get paid for doing this. Now, where I work for gang reduction youth development with the mayor's office, and we actually can create a career out of it. There's money in our cities that we don't know it exists. It's funds
mm,
that you can fund your own self and get paid more than a 9 to 5 job, doing something that you love to do, pouring into your community, doing something that I was doing for free. Nobody told
wow,
me about it.
Wow.
it came to me because the work that I did show improved, and people that didn't even know me said, "Hey, it's a guy over here doing this,"
Mm.
and then I get a phone call, and
Wow.
it's not even the peers that I sit at these tables with, to do this work. It's like it was a big old secret. They was okay that I go to the union and then come back after 12, 13 hours and do this work for free, and you keep the money. A lot of people get caught up in this money grab. The root of evil. It's
Right.
how people perceive and grab this money
Mm.
concept and think, if I take some money because they got it for me, it's taken from you. You can't get my money. You
Right.
get your money, I get my money, and we do what we're supposed to do. And
Absolutely.
what I do when I go after funding and things like that, Camp8 Ministries, we going after funding to help uh, elevate what we're doing for the community already.
Mhm.
We got different things in line right now where we don't want to recreate the wheel. We just want to expand what that wheel is doing. So all
Okay.
the organizations that I'm a part of right now, when
Mhm.
I get funded, I just pour it into what we doing. If we doing mentorship programs, or we giving $100 incentives to our youth, okay, here goes some more money. How many more youth can we get in there? That's the mindset. We
Mhm.
don't want to unify nothing. We want to be unified in a segregated component where I'm gonna do my thing and control my narrative. It's not your
Mhm.
narrative. God gave it to you, then
That's
put it
right.
with God's people. Collaborate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to have these churches collaborated too. We can't have churches on every corner and they kind of dirty macking each other when they come out their doors.
Yeah.
Like, I would want to say, how can we bring increase together? How can we
Abs-
shut the block down? Things like that. But it's I mean, a lot of us didn't get healed. A lot of us didn't get fixed from our bad habits when we jumped over the fence. Some of us just saw a different way to get over
Mm.
on our people and get ahead and get a foot up, and they'll use us to do that. So he say many are coming in my name, but everybody ain't with the program. Everybody ain't with that spiritual alignment.
That's true.
Everybody ain't trying to see the change because we're really putting band-aids on something while they gentrify us out of LA. And
Mm.
we not in the next 10 years, we're gonna lose all control of it. These jobs are not gonna matter. They're just putting stuff out there to keep us calm and quiet while they do what they gotta do. And
Mm.
God forbid they take it from us. They change the names. Everybody got tattoos of streets and hoods and area codes. They changing all that stuff on us. And
Wow.
so many people in these graves in LA behind this stuff. And it's not
Mm.
gonna exist in a minute because they gonna they changed South Central LA to South LA for a
Wow.
reason. So everybody that died for South Central LA, it don't even exist really. So we
Mm.
we
Wow.
we perishing out here, and it's sad. And I'm doing my portion. I had to stop overthinking and overstressing myself trying to do so much. All I could do is my portion and let God do the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, we appreciate you, and I want to stop here and say that we appreciate you because you are, and of course, like you said, Camp8 as a whole, you know, um, the word says, go out to the highway and the hedges to compel them to come. And for you to make that sacrifice, we see a lot of these street preachers that are on the corner, and sometimes we just go in shame and we duck and we dodge. But, we see that, by your testimony, even right now, that is a calling, that is preaching, that is ministry, regardless of a pulpit. Everywhere we go, there's a pulpit. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to be a physical pulpit, but we thank you for making that sacrifice. We thank all of y'all for going out because that could be my relatives over there because I know I got kin folks over there.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
definitely.
and we need to continue to pray to cover you guys, when y'all do that as well because, you know, like you said, you could be living a totally different way, but you choose to be
Yeah,
obedient to God. That's a
yes,
sacrifice. That's a sacrifice.
definitely. And then even we just did the All In Me tour with Bria Miles and a couple others that we tried to join in that camaraderie and that brotherhood. And
Mhm.
some some people do tours and some people that got attached to this tour got confused with thinking it was a money grab tour, and it was a Bill Bridge tour. It was a unification tour. The funding ended up coming out of our pockets. To be honest, we didn't run around there and clean up in these cities, and we were hoping that people came and contributed and donated and did what they're supposed to do. Some people jumped ship, just keeping it all the way
Mhm.
transparent, because um we got to know how our people are doing us. We can't hide it. It ain't talking about people, but we went to some churches, and the churches in those states didn't even promote us through their church congregation. It was our own promo. It was our own outside resources that did whatever it was supposed to do. And some places we went in, that ministry was for that exact place we were in, not for the people around it. It was for that church to hear God's word and hear what he's supposed to be doing in their life and that congregation, because it's a lot of good. I mean, the buildings are beautiful, the
Mhm.
space, just enough parking for everybody, but God don't be present in those spaces. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Like I do. You
Yeah.
came out and supported us, and you seen for yourself what was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who want to control the narrative are going to call themselves pastors, community leaders,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this and that. And we we got to be who we were in the world. When I was in the gang culture, and you know, a lot of stuff was dealt with, a lot of protocols, a lot of rules and regulations, and that people went against those. It was repercussions to that. It was ways that we dealt with that stuff. We don't have nothing for that. We don't do that over here. It's like when we do it, it's just, oh, God bless and get her. No, let's call that
Mhm.
person on that, because you're quick to call me if you a rare breed is a worldwide artist, and you see me go do something wrong, it's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
It's gonna go viral.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna have a podcast about it. But we
Mhm.
we don't want to come together and collectively teach each other, encourage each other, motivate each other, and judge each other according like we're supposed to. And that's the problem I got. That's why Rare Breed talk how he talk, and he call people out on stuff, and rub people a lot of ways that's not right for them, because I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna tolerate it. If you're not gonna
Absolutely.
tolerate me hanging, doing this and that, and all these things, that you got that one list of sin that you always focused on, and you're not
Mhm.
putting it with these that you need to deal within yourself, you can't talk to Rare Breed.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk to nobody unless you open for correction, you open for change, and you cleaning out your closet too. Don't just dump my closet in front of me and talk to me.
That's
So
right. That's right. Why you act like Paul? You got that
that's one of my
spirit of
favorite.
Paul.
Yeah, I
But you
mean,
know
he's a
what? I
gangster too.
love it. I love it because, like you said, being transparent and real is what we need. And so often we have such a false image of what church is supposed to look like, what it's supposed to, all the emotions, all the attire, all of this, but we can't deal with the homeless person. We can't deal with this person that got 50 million tattoos. We can't deal with that person because we knew that they were at the club or they attire don't look, it might be too
Mm,
short or do this or too tight or whatever the case, but he's looking at the soul. So if you are so adamant about telling somebody don't judge me, what's the
right.
difference? You're doing the same thing. So I bruh, you my bruh, I love y'all.
Yeah,
Rare
the
Breed
gangster
is
can't come
amazing.
and do the Holy Ghost sea walk, and the pimp can't come in there with the two prostitutes that may get saved. But we can have that other brother, clapping his hands and leading praise and worship and saturating the building. Not to throw no stones, but we can have the wrong people saturating the atmosphere
Come on.
before before the word, but everything else is not okay.
Come on now. You're right. You done preached the whole sermon here, testimony and all. You hear me? Uh, but well, you probably already answered this next question. What events or groups do you participate with in the community? Like, I think you were naming a couple of them, but are there others that,
It gets confusing.
oh
Yeah,
Lord,
it gets confusing because I work. I'm out of Watson, which is the east side, portion of LA, and I work for West Side Corridor because of my relationship. They asked me to come over there and help build that bridge with those communities that was resisting on the gang, the the service for the gang
Mm-hmm.
culture and the money that they got in those communities. So that's what I do with the grid program. Um, I I work Southern California Ceasefire is my very first organization, nonprofit. Everybody came out of their pocket. It's evolving to other things right now. I just hold it down on my portion. You know, I started the clothing line for Let Me Live Ceasefire, backpacks. You know, just made it a brand that a lot of people respect now today because it's a Save Life brand. You know, and I started. I help start and co-found United We Stand Up with Pastor Shep and several other brothers throughout the community. They leaders in their communities. They have a voice that can be heard, a voice that's willing to stand and fight for what's right to save a life in their community. So we started United We Stand Up about 4 years ago, and we evolved to so many different things because what Pastor Shep helped bring us to the table, he didn't allow us just to be some happy-go-lucky, reformed, redeemed gangbangers that just want to talk chicken and watermelon and no structure. He helped us with the structure. He bought that structure and that team from his church, and we built a team behind the executive board that allows us to do what we do. And we do Heroes program where we go get the troubled youth, the real active person in the community, and we try to have it evened out with the Crips and the Bloods, and people that never thought that they would sit at a table like that have changed lives. You know, people are now friends. People are letting other people make it in the community when they see them outside the perimeters and giving them pat. They going to court for each other. They became friends. You know, and
Wow.
they initially come for the money incentive and not knowing that we're the ones teaching the classes too. We're qualified, we're certified. We got the certificates and everything that we need to qualify us, as well as the background of what we live to do the work. So we teach them, and at the end of it, the segment that we really come to a head is bringing red and blue back to black, and we show them the history of what we came from. We show them the oppression because a lot of people don't believe that the oppression of the ancestors and the slavery and all that root cause is not the cause for right now. How do we got a root cause and you saying that ain't why? How do we got so many years of being stripped from who we are, what we supposed to be, the empowerment of who we was, to be little men and all this stuff like that? How do we become so naive to think that that doesn't matter now when
Mhm.
it's very relevant to who we will become if we learn where we came from, you know?
That's true.
So these programs are powerful. um, I'm excited about being a part of something that we started and created so much peace that you can't document things that don't happen. So we can't say, well, these many people's lives didn't get murdered. We can count the murders, but we can't count the lives we save, but we know what we do. And it's I'm part of United We Stand Up. Excuse me, United in Peace. That's a peace ride component where we collaborated with Minister Tony, Scientologists, and other religious entities. He said he wanted to join with us, and we was gonna stop the religious gangbanging together. So if we can show that we stop religious gangbanging, how can the next person say we not willing to come over here and deal with y'all? Because when they do come over there and we divide it, they're gonna go right back.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we do. We do peace rides with Corvettes, lowriders, and Harleys every fourth Sunday, and we even got it state to state. We try to get people to simultaneously do it in their own cities, their own states, and it could be one thing, one united form where we can learn to live and coexist together. Just because my neighbor is not a Christian, I shouldn't be mean mugging and hating on him. I should be that light that may encourage him to say, hey, maybe what I'm doing ain't right because how this brother acting, how he treating me, I need to see what's in him. You
Right.
know, if you brushing people off and rolling windows up when we giving water giveaways and stuff like that, that's not God. You don't have that Christ like attitude. You
That's
know,
true.
people scared to go to these communities. They come in our communities and they want to do videos and all this, but they don't want to jump out and pop out with the homies and really see what's going on. And you scared, and you can't operate in fear. You know what I mean? You have to be bold and go out there when he say it's time to go out there. I've been in everybody's neighborhood, not by not by because I'm that guy, I'm doing that. I have my skepticism, but I had to clear that out and let God say what you want me to do. And if he say go, I go. So that allowed me to be a different person. Rare breed is really rare in these communities and these similar spaces where I'm there, but I'm not doing what you're doing. I'm there, but I ain't that big homie that you used to, things of that
Mhm.
nature. We got low rider clubs, and my big homies are in these clubs, and we doing positivity. We living, we got grandkids, kids, everybody want to live. We want to let the next person live. So
Absolutely.
they're learning. And I'm there to be an example, because if I wasn't there to be an example, some people that I honestly know wouldn't know how to react and act to people because they want to have a persona. They don't want to be looked at as soft. They don't want to be, you know, uh, being the big homie that ain't the cool dude. I'm like, being a man and telling them the truth is cool. That's
That's right.
that's that's gangster right there.
That's right.
Saving their life is gangster. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Making sure that they
Absolutely.
not running the muck and going to get 50 years. That's gangster. Give them a
Come on.
job. Give them a career. Don't even give
Absolutely.
them a job. Give them a career. Show them how to evolve. Past a
Absolutely.
regular 9 to 5. So these are the things that we do. Jobs create peace. And then we sit down at the tables and we break bread with our enemies. If you could eat with your so-called enemy, you can have peace with your enemy.
That's
And you
right.
have to have peace with your worst enemy to call yourself a peace builder. A lot of people
Absolutely.
haven't sat at tables with that uncomfortable conversation with people when that hurt them the most. They took a life, they took a brother, they took a homie, somebody close to you, may even killed your mama. You got to sit with these people to call yourself a peace builder. That's where the division comes in with us in these streets, because I'm fighting on this side of the fence and I'm still trying to get these people on this side of the fence. So it's a challenge. It gets frustrating. You want to throw the towel in, but if you're not grounded in the word, if you don't
Yeah.
rejuvenate yourself and you don't go in there and say, well, man, this man died for my sins. He did all this stuff, and go past what they tell us about how he died and really feel that pain of what he died for. What we going through ain't nothing.
Come on. That's true. That's true.
So
Wow. Boy, you done preached the whole sermon, bro. I tell you. But it's the truth though. That's what I love about it. And that's what this platform is about, is to put it out there because, no, I'm all the way in San Antonio, Texas. I may not be over there, but to whatever, capacity, or, because you're sharing this, somebody that may be on my Facebook, YouTube, whatever, they might already know who you are. They may be able to say, hey, how can I find, how I can contribute to this department, or how can I get a hold of RareBreed? How can I, you know what I'm saying? So that's what this whole platform is for, is to hear what you got to say, but at the same time, like you said, being the example, being the light. You ain't no light, hiding away, but you're putting it out there so that other
yeah,
people's lives can be changed, can be transformed, and being a good godly example with the word in you instead of just talking a whole bunch of gibberish, because half the time we could go to church and almost pretty much complete the sentence of a preacher, but when you're
mhm,
talking about reality and living the life, that's a whole different ball game.
exactly.
uh, what is that? So my next question is, if people want to help or donate, are there links? Are there ways? What can we, or would you want to just share that with me and I attach
Yeah,
it inside the
we can attach it. Yeah,
yeah.
we can attach it as well, but you can follow Rare Breed 33C. You can hashtag that Rare Breed 33C. You can hashtag Camp8republic. The word camp, the number 8, the word republic, all together. And when you Google that stuff, everything we attach to is popped up. You can click the link. You can hit us in a messenger, a DM, tell us who you are and what you want to do. we can definitely use some help with what we doing, but I would rather people hear what I'm doing and be encouraged to do what they need to do in their own space.
Come on
Do
now.
what you got to do. If you want Camp 8 Republic to be San Antonio, Texas, say, hey, we want to use your brand out here and do what you're doing. Do that. You want to create your own name. God may give you a vision. Feed into your vision. You know,
Amen.
do your portion so it can trickle down and we can feel it. Because like I was saying in that tour was us sitting people down in different states and talk about the problems and seeking solutions and see that we similar in our struggles and how do we help each other across the states. Just because we're not in the same place don't mean we can't help each other. Don't mean that we
Absolutely.
can't be vessels, and can't mean I can't fly out there and do what I need to do. If you think outside the box and really just destroy the box, don't even have a box. So
Yeah.
you could be past, well, I gotta go to work, man. Well, I gotta go to work too, but I still be up to 3 in the morning feeding into my printing business because
Mm.
that's me right there. That's my legacy. And
That's
sometimes
right.
the devil use the work to stop you, the 9 to 5 to stop you from building your legacy. So
Come on.
you you could get poured into and you could build your own legacy and not even need your job. You could want to help like I'm doing and end up paying yourself because you learn how to go get the funding and the funding is going to pour into you. It's not like you stealing the money. You got to get paid for doing what you service to do under these contracts, under these organizations. That you build can get the funding that can really help you and while you helping other people. So you got to be more open minded. We got to get outside that box thinking of I got to go get a job and be enslaved to that 9 to 5. And you put more life in the work than you putting in the living.
Come on
And
now.
we supposed to be servicing each other. We supposed to service our people. So I get paid to do something that I do anyway, something that God called me to do. And so I'm making a living doing something that I do anyway, so I'm not working. I don't know what work looks like until, you know, I gotta, maybe help my son because they need pops to go do something with his tools. But other than that, I'm doing something that I love to do at all times.
Mhm.
Even my printing business is servicing communities that's out there, mothers of murder victims,
Yeah.
people that's out here part of these organizations that's marching and
Mm.
stuff. So I'm pouring back into them and I might cut a cost because that's me giving back the way that I can. My labor hand may be something I can give back because I don't have to check to cut these people. So it's other ways that you can barter your blessing to other people.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at life right now. I don't got everything that I want, but I got everything I need.
Amen.
And I'm not chasing riches of this world at the age that I'm at. I'm just chasing this happiness of being here. I've been sleeping and sitting around for 3 days, relaxing. Let
Don't talk
everybody know.
about it.
Don't call RareBreed. I managed my job. Told them, I took my time out, and even if I didn't have time collected to get my paycheck from my job, I still was going to take this time anyway because this is what I work for. I work to live. I work to enjoy my family. I work to spend time. I done did some stuff around my son's house today, had my tools with me. Little things like that matter. Like this is
Yeah.
what I live for, and a lot of us never get a chance to live the life that they working to live for because they end up dying. So
I'm on a silent mode. You done slapped me. You done stepped on my toes. Why is he preaching? You know what? You know what? I received that. You know what? Because
amen.
I took of course we had 2 days off for the holiday, but I literally took some time off, which I don't do. I am a 9 to 5 workaholic, so I'm
Yeah.
guilty. So you did step on my
Yeah.
toes, preacher. So thank you. Thank
Sorry, not sorry.
right? But you know what? I, you know what? We got to talk after all of this is over. Once you hear me, we got to talk.
Definitely,
Anyways, it's a
definitely.
positive thing though, because
Yeah,
you're scratching some ears
yeah,
and you're hitting some areas that we need to hear because we've done, and I'm not calling. a job like a slavery type job. I'm not saying that. I mean, yeah, we need that, but like you said in so many words, we need that balance and also be able to put into what God has told you to do. If God has told you to do something, be obedient. So, you know what? You said so many words to say, be obedient. Okay, that was on my
Amen.
toes. Okay,
He said he provides all our needs. Well, when we don't got it, he the one that give it to us. He
absolutely.
break the loaves down to 1 to 20, 2,000. You know, if he do that,
Mm.
then why can't we trust in what he says when it's time to say, oh, they say if I don't come back after Christmas, I don't get that check for them 2 days they gave us and that type of stuff. That's enslavement, that's entrapment, that's the devil. You know what I mean? And
Right.
people look at it different. And I know the lights got to be on, the bills got to get paid. But before you buck that system, you got to plant another seed and water another seed because I don't got jobs, I got hustles. And long as I can hustle it, the increase is whatever God wanted to be in that season. It's not the it's not the check. So
You just went deep. Okay. You about to you see y'all, I love RareBreed because this is my brother. I had the opportunity, of course I didn't even go into all that, but I did have the opportunity to meet RareBreed in Houston with Camp 8, which was Bria Miles, Chili Baby. Of course, at the time they had Little Rascal, Ion,
yeah,
Cyclone. Everybody was there. And with that moment of connecting with this family, I am so humbled to say, I have been blessed in so many words to hear y'all's testimony, to, get ideas from you guys, and, for people to poke at you like little rascals
yeah,
to say
yeah,
something. I'm like, what? But you know what? I'm grateful that there are men and women of God like yourself. Bria, she just released her book. Another dear brother of mine, I believe you may know Darius West, releasing his book, but also working, directing a show or a movie and so forth. And it's like, oh my
oh, the
God,
movie, yeah, he did the documentary for the pioneers of hip hop.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's such a blessing to see how God is just bringing everybody in my circle in this sense to humble me and to make me feel like I'm a student. And right now, with you talking like you talking and you preaching, I feel like I'm the student just getting my toes stepped on, but saying ouch, amen at the same time. Like you said, sorry,
yeah,
not sorry. But I
yeah,
appreciate that because we all have to grow. Like the word says,
yeah,
one plant, the other water, but God gets the increase. So
yeah.
I'm appreciative of hearing this, and I pray that the audience is feeding wisdom, off of this
Amen.
wisdom. This is just wisdom. I could cry, but I ain't because I'm too cute right now to do all this.
It's
So
accountability. We have to be accountable to one another, and I
absolutely,
need more accountability partners in 2025. For
absolutely,
those that's out there, you're not too small or too big to reach out to Rare Breed. Like I need help. I need help with my personal being as well because I pour into so many people, and I gotta find ways to pour out because it's not healthy.
absolutely.
It's draining,
Yeah.
and to have that world on your shoulders feeling,
Mhm.
and it's almost a helpless feeling because you helping so many people that's helpless, and some people don't even want to help themselves, but they want you to put all the help in. And you have to check yourself and say, as much as I want to do it with that person, I can't do it. I have to
Yeah.
say no because everybody can't go. The
Yes.
unfortunate thing, we got to do what we can and spend that energy and time in the people that can come back and get the rest of those people. But you
Yes.
can't keep on. You got to be vision, have that vision to say, okay, that person really don't want it. I done did this, that, and the other, and it's not gonna happen. So you
Mhm.
know, it's it's hard. It's hard to
Mhm.
see people left behind. But
Yeah.
we had to get it. We had to go through stuff, and we can't help people where they're not they're being hurt by not having that struggle because we got to have a struggle. We got to be broke down, pressed out, shaken. You know what I mean? And we have to have our moments. We got
Yeah.
to have what God is gonna humble us because, like for instance, my grandkids, they more. We was talking last night. A lot of them middle class. None of them in the struggle. None of them getting it out the mud. They not ghetto driven and stuck in the projects. They got an okay life.
Yeah.
So when you take something from them, what's going to define them now? After we done gave them a better life, what's the next thing that's going to define them that we took from them? We took that struggle of the hood. Now, how are they going to earn? How they're going to be real needy. They're going to want you to do everything for them because you've been doing it for them. You've been spoiling them. You want to have the best of both. Where you want to be, not do it. They want toys on Christmas. They want this. They want better schools, this and that. But what struggle have you given them for them to earn that appreciation?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we not giving it to them. So we hurting. It's a couple things that I wish we could have did better. And sometimes it happened because we weren't there. Some of my grandkids was here when I was in prison. One of my sons ended up trading places, going to prison. So his absence was felt, and it hurt the family. And we're still trying to heal from that right now. We're trying to see what that healing looks like because
Mm.
we don't even know what it looks like. We don't know. Some people think it's separation, and I don't believe in separation. I didn't give up on y'all. Don't give up on each other. And we just have to learn to accept people for who they are and the capacity that they are, and love them like that, and
Yeah.
stop having over expectations of a person where when they don't do it, now you shutting them out.
Yeah.
So we got to be more open and be at fault because we don't want to own faults.
Come on.
I know my faults. I don't never speak about somebody. I don't talk at my kids. I talk to my kids, and I plant a seed, and it may grow 10 years from now.
Mm.
I can't expect everybody to be where RareBreed at because
Yeah.
they didn't go through what I went through to get here, so they don't feel that urgency.
Yeah. Yeah.
They may have been around on the son side, the grandpa, daddy in jail type stuff, but they didn't have to go through that hell I woke up to every day, and
Yeah.
and it was hard, and
Yeah.
it's emotional. Like people take it light, but it was. I always remember where I came from because I know
Absolutely.
where I want to go and I know where I ain't trying to go back to.
Yeah.
So we got to keep pushing forward, and that's why I keep doing the music. I'm I grew up a person that was shy and didn't like to talk in front of people. I didn't dance at parties because I didn't want to be seen. But now Rare Breed, praying over people, rapping everywhere he called to rap to, facilitating meetings, having a voice and speaking up for the right reasons, not just running my mouth. And when it's time to speak up, that leadership gets intimidated to the people that I've sat back and been a good follower. As a leader, you got to learn how to follow too.
Come on
So
now.
when it's my turn, it intimidates a lot of people, and they
Mm.
can't understand it. They think I was supposed to be following protocol and doing what they said doing, not knowing I'm here to equip, ready to add to what you're doing already, and you don't want that addition because you don't want to overshine you. But we wanted to work at the end of the day. We ain't worrying about who got the shine. If God ain't got it, who needs it? So it's a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Like you said, accountability as well as dying to our ways, dying to our flesh, and then also reflecting back. So I appreciate that. That keep you.
Yeah.
Lord have
We start
mercy.
with healing. You gotta heal. Speaking of
Absolutely.
healing,
Hmm.
part of my healing was this right here. This the new CDs right here. This the new out the trunk. These the USBs.
Yeah.
This is the new EP that's out after the pains, and it's a song on there after the pain that was wrote to express and heal from my mother passing 2 years ago. And the album is dedicated and made for her because that was my everything right there. And she no longer with me. She ain't that phone call I can make, that person I can vent to, and I had to get this out the way before I even got the album that's coming out in January out the way. I had to put that on hold. And all these projects is like 2 years setback because I was dealing with the struggle with my mother. And if I didn't tell you I was struggling with my mother, you wouldn't know because you still see me in the community. You still see me doing the work. I still was helping other people. But that was part of my healing process. If I stay stuck, I stay stagnant, then and then the devil wins because I lose that momentum that's created to elevate and evolve the people and the organizations. I would have been on hiatus and things would have died out, So when I go through my stuff, I look at the devil like he want this. He want me to sit down. He want me out the way. He want me to make excuses, reasons, and then I do the total opposite. I work
Yeah.
harder. I make
Yeah.
every reason not to. I make every reason to get it done. I make every reason to complete something. And that's the healing process. And you could feel him binded up and fleeing and crumbled and tossed out the window and he mad. He
Yeah.
lost another one, and that's how I envision this. And I encourage everybody else to do that because I see a lot of spiritually grounded people lose sight and let Satan win all the time. And I'd be like,
Absolutely.
bro, sis, you ain't and they folded and balled up in a fetal position about
Hmm.
the losses like they didn't understand that we were supposed to lose the game.
Yeah.
We didn't understand that God gave us something to be taken from us. And they like to when you start speaking like this, they want to say you insensitive and you did. No, I'm very sensitive. That's why I'm speaking up to it because you disrespect the Father and the God that we serve when you sit up there and make an excuse for us to pity party with you. I can't do that,
Right.
So you gotta have that balance of tough love. You can get the hugs, you can cry it out. I do it the way people do it, but I don't do it for long. It's time
Right.
to strap up your boots and get going. And
That's
so
right.
moving forward, my mom's legacy is not lost because I put it through the music. I put it in this new EP. Even at the end of it, I did a outro called Invitation because like how when we lose people, we go to service. We invite people to Christ at the last little visit up, the last little road trip with your loved one. And that's why I did that on this album. At the end of
Mhm.
the album, it's like you get an opportunity. So the person that listens to it, if they going through something and they convicted, it's the invitation to come to Christ too, right there for you. So my
Mm.
mom is doing her job still,
Yeah.
and I'm doing my job. So we on the job, and
Mm.
just moving forward now. It's just about moving forward.
That's
We
right.
got to look in the rear view, but we got to keep looking forward more than anything. So.
Yeah. That's so true. And I was thinking about it. My favorite scripture that saved my life, and I didn't use it in my book, but I wrote whatchamacallit, Lord Jesus, a 30-day devotional. And long story short, I was at that point of wanting to give up. So I appreciate you elaborating on that because it made me think about it. Where you want to give up, but Ephesians 4:27 was one of the scriptures that made me shake back, where it says neither give the devil any place. And like you said, you do totally the opposite, to where you make the enemy fold, you make him shame, you make him pull back, instead of going and, like you said, going in that same position, fetal position, or drawing back or shutting down or whatever, like you said, pity party, whatever, like the other person. I'm grateful for the struggles, and it's like an old saying that says, "I don't take nothing for my journey." I really do appreciate my struggles. I do appreciate the situations, the abuse, whatever it was that I went through or whatever, because that just made me the better person, that I am today. So I appreciate you, sharing that. And also with the music, you said on the USB, how much are those?
Oh, this one is $12, and we're looking to put it on the website, the Camp8 Republic website, as well as on my page. But for right now, you could just message, and we can get it to you through
Okay.
either pages. We can just message it that if you want it in physical form, and we'll ship it out to you.
Okay.
But this
S-
is something new for us, and we get. Go ahead.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. You started cracking up all of a sudden.
Oh, I said this is something new, getting the USBs together and being able, like how they were CDs, be able to get
Mm.
shipped out. So
Yeah.
this is something, we got to evolve into. Nobody has a CD player, but they got a USB port in their car.
Show
So
do. Show
we
do.
we gotta make it available. So the next album is gonna be like that, and we probably go back and put some of the old stuff on there too, because we got timeless music. If it's
Amen.
God driven, I don't care how long, it's still gonna do what it's supposed to do. So
Yeah.
we do in that losing thing, we lose a lot of things we want to keep, a lot of things we don't want to let go.
Yes.
But without
Yes.
being not feeling guilty or feeling disrespectful to the things you lost, you have to get excited about what you're gonna gain, because
Absolutely.
there is a gain, there is something, there is an evolution of this thing, and from children, sometimes your children go before you, them harsh realities. We not gonna sugarcoat nothing. Everybody
Yeah.
likes to sugar. I don't talk about that. I don't, man, it's gonna happen. If you don't talk about it,
Absolutely.
you're not preparing for it. You're not preparing for it, then you leaving people with a burden, and
Yeah.
you're not helping nobody, leaving them with burdens on their back. So
Yeah.
we gotta put it at the foot of the cross. We gotta talk about it. We gotta be excited about what you left what you left with, because
Yes.
if I'm still here and I've lost so many people. I've lost big brother figures, little brother figures, even, just friends, and it's just too many. I could talk to a person. I've talked to somebody that never lost somebody, and I'm glad for that person. Like, you never lost one person in your life. Like, that's a blessing. But me, I got endless. I got like a list of obituaries, just overwhelming. I sit back and, like, I got so many people in my phone that I haven't even erased, that I still wish I can call right now.
Yeah.
And that's a burden in itself. That's a
Yeah.
heavy load, and
Yeah.
how do you deal with it without having some kind of spiritual balance? So
Hmm.
I'm grateful for the spiritual balance. I appreciate what God showed me, because I was in a place where everything was lost, and I'm here now, and I gained most of it back and some. So how
Right.
can I'm a walking example. If people need an example, man, Rare Breed is. I'm here. I'm transparent. I'm a tool. I can give you one of my tools. It's
Yeah.
enough for us to sharpen each other, because a lot of people going through a lot of things, and people get these podcasts, and they get to doing all that gimmickle spiritual stuff to tell people, God told me you're going through it, this and that. Man, just talk like this, and God gonna give you something. It's gonna talk to somebody, and it's gonna change somebody's life and save somebody. Like, we
That's
don't have
right.
to be a gimmick. God
That's
is not a
right.
gimmick, and we gotta stop playing with him, because y'all the ones that y'all need to be very worried at the end of the day, because he
True.
gonna remember that. He gonna
Yeah.
remember all that stuff, and he gonna
Absolutely.
remember how many times y'all shut a door on people like me that just want to help the people. I'm not
That's
I'm not trying to be here for my own glory and fame. I'm trying to help somebody, and people don't invite me to certain platforms. That's why we created the All In Me tour, because we wasn't getting invited to nothing. So
yeah.
God told us to build it for ourselves, and in this season we built our own organization so we can provide and be and control that narrative the way he wants us to do it, and be that light and that example. So
Yeah.
that's it. We just gotta be better examples, man. And we
Amen.
correct ourselves and clean ourselves, wash ourselves up, and come back different. Apologetic.
Amen. That's right. You're right about that. Since you were talking about the flash drive, my final question is, could you tell us more about the new release for January, and how can we find you, on the social media platforms?
Again, you could do the hashtag RareBreed33C. RareBreed33C is every social media I got. I got all updates on the King Amongst Kings page that's attached to those sites, and I just try to do my best. I don't have no team, but I do my best to keep the information rolling. How the flyers of the events. If you see a flyer, consider yourself invited. And come
Right.
come support and come pour in, do your portion. The music link is the link tree on the link in the bio. Click the link. All the music I got is there. The new music, you be able to pre-sale, pre-orders coming up in the next week or two. That's the only work I'm doing within this holiday season, is getting this music cleaned up, and it's almost done. I got one more thing to do, and then my guy's gonna finalize everything. And album covers being worked on as we speak. Rare Breed got his own logo brand coming out. I know it's a lot of Rare Breeds, but this one Y'all gonna know it's me because the capital
Right.
R, the capital B, it goes together. No spaces in Rare Breed, and it's we trying to make it a household name that's gonna save a life. You know, if we not saving lives, we not doing nothing. If we not doing nothing, why we here? And
That's
so
right.
that's what we about.
Amen. Well, I put it like this. You can count me in on getting the flash drive. I'll get with you on all of that. But
Amen.
if anything, I want you guys, my audience or the audience is not my audience, it's God's audience. If you can, link up, check out Rare Breed, check out his music, check out um All in Me. You can see
Merchandise.
Rare Breed. Huh?
The merchandise as well. Camp 8 merchandise,
Oh,
ceasefire
yes.
merchandise, United We Stand Up merchandise, United in Peace merchandise, Legacy from Unity is the name of my company. That's on Instagram and Facebook as well. Legacy from Unity. You can come support us. You can even use our company to get your business and your logos up. We do that as well.
Wow. Yeah, that part. That part. So, anyways, we are so excited, and I'm just so grateful that I got the opportunity while you took this moment off. Please tell your grandbabies thank you for letting us birth.
Yeah, you know, we've been trying to get these dates together, but the
Right?
way that I work, it's no telling when the call is gonna come. You
Right.
know, we go to these scenes with the students. We got all these programs taking the kids, trying to save a life. We taking the top golf. We doing what we got to do. So it's kind of hard for Rare Breed to have a Rare Breed moment, and
Hmm.
because I'm not saying that I'm this guy, but I'm that guy at the same time. You know, I'm not perfect, but through my imperfections, God is using me to be who I am and what I
Amen.
need to be for the community so they can have some kind of leadership because we lack a lot of leadership. We don't have enough men out here. We got too many others. So we need some men out here.
Amen. Amen. I want to say thank you so much, Rare Breed, for even
Thank
just,
you.
like I said, coming here and sharing your testimony and then also what God is doing through you, through the ministry, through, you and the fellow brothers and ministers and pastors and different ones that you are connected with to reach the people of, that need Christ and need just to know that they're loved, to let them know that they are a human being, let them know that they're
Amen.
not a number, let them know that they're not a statistic to society because we've seen so much and right now is not the time for us to just back down and be like, oh, that's just a part of the world. No, God has assigned, so many of us to do or walk up on the forefront. And I will say that Camp 8 has been represented. And I do see it where, y'all done certain videos and so forth. So my hat goes off to you.
Amen.
Thank God for
Appreciate
y'all
that.
in such a way. And also thank y'all for your music because it does impact. It does, I ain't gonna lie, I be driving down blasting. As modest as I appear. Yes, I be blasting. I
That's
love the
right.
music and it
That's right.
really does bless. It does bless and it's so on point and it's so needed right now in this season. So I want to say to you guys, the audience, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the testimony and to what God is doing through and in Rare Breed, Camp 8 Republic, and all the different platforms that you heard Rare Breed mention. I want y'all to tune in. I want y'all to go purchase. I want y'all to be a part of. I want you to go support. I want you to be effective in the kingdom, even if you can't be there. Plan into this ministry because it is affecting lives. It is affecting nations. So I'll just leave that right there. I love you guys. May God bless each and every one of you. And we thank you guys. Until the next time, to our next episode, we will see you guys later. All right. Thanks again. Bye, you guys.